Today we are at task 11, XSS, Marry XSSMas. Learn about types of cross-site scripting, vulnerabilities, and how to prevent them. 2 videos from 2 creators. Task number 1, introduction. After last year's automation and tech modernization CentOS workshop got a new makeover, McSkitty has a secure message portal where you can contact her directly with any questions or concerns. However, lately the logs have been lighting up with unusual activity, ranging from odd messages to suspicious search terms. Even CentOS letters appear to be scripts or random code. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, dig through the logs, uncover the mischief, and figure out who's trying to mess with McSkitty. Learning objective: understand how XSS work. Learn to prevent XSS attacks. What we have to do in this room: we have to connect to the attack box and also start the vulnerable machine. Answer the question below. I have successfully started the attack box and target machine. Task number 2, leave the cookies, take the payload. Equipment check. For today's room, we will be using the page. Right, so it's XSS. Obviously, we'll have a URL. You can use the browser of your attack box to navigate to it. You will see a page as shown below. Okay. Oh, we have also the systems logs. Amazing. Cool. We'll have some fun in here. Let's review some key material regarding potential attacks on websites like the portal, specifically cross-site scripting. XSS is a web application vulnerability that lets attackers or evil bunnies inject malicious code, usually JavaScript, into input fields that reflect content viewed by other users. For example, a form or a comment in a blog. So, they have a dedicated room for XSS. We'll go through it, especially for when we deal with OWASP Top 10. I see this is very comprehensive. Also, you can see the types of cross-site scripting. Perfect. We will do everything. Now let's go back to our room, where I see they also explain a bit the types of XSS. When an attacker doesn't properly validate or escape user input, that input can be interpreted as code rather than harmless text. This results in malicious code that can steal credentials, deface pages, or impersonate users. Depending on the results, there are various types of XSS. In today's task, we focus on reflected XSS and stored XSS. Reflected, cross-site scripting. You see reflected variants when the injection is immediately projected in a response. Imagine a search toy searching for an online toy store. You search via... Yeah, so basically you search, this is the query. You search by gifts, but imagine you send this to your friend who is looking for a gift for their nephew. Please don't do this, right? So they basically send you this. When you go to this page, to the gift section, basically, actually you don't even have to go to the gift section. You will be prompted with this message. Script. We have the flag already. Let me go back. Message 1. Let me see here. There you go. Sorry, this is reflected. This is reflected XSS. If your friend clicks on the link, it will be execute code instead. Impact. You could act, view information, or modify information that your friend or any user could do. View or access. It's usually exploited via phishing or tricks or tricking users into clicking the link, right, with a malicious code injected. Stored XSS, on the other hand, is the attack that occurs when malicious script is saved on the server and then loaded for every user who views the affected page. Unlike reflected XSS, which targets individual victims, stored XSS becomes a set and forget attack. Anyone who loads the page runs the attacker's script. To understand how this works, let's use the example of a simple blog where users can submit comments that get displayed below each post. Normal comment section. This is the post basically where a user posts a comment Here is the host, post ID, name, email, and then comment. The server stores this information and displays it whenever someone visits the blog, that blog page. Malicious comment submissions store the XSS example. So for instance, here in the comment section, we have a script, right? That will store plus a message that basically we can say anything. Because the comment is saved in the database, every user who opens that blog post will automatically trigger that script. And let me see. Request. Potential XSS detection for this one. Right? They caught that. Because the comment is saved in the database, every user who opens that blog post will automatically trigger that script. This lets the attacker run code as if they were the victim in order to perform malicious actions such as steal session cookies, trigger fake login pop-ups, deface the page, protecting against SSH. Each service is different and requires a well-thought-out service design, secure design and implementation plan, but key practices you can implement are: disable dangerous rendering rats. Instead of using the inner HTML property, which lets you inject any content directly into the HTML, use the text content property instead. It reads input as text and parses it for HTML. Make cookies inaccessible to JavaScript. Set session cookies with the HTTP only, secure and same site attributes to reduce the impact of XSS attacks. Sanitize inputs and outputs and encode. In some situations, applications may need to accept limited HTML inputs, for example, to allow users to include safe links or basic formatting. However, it's critical to sanitize and encode all user-supplied data to prevent security vulnerabilities. Sanitizing and encoding removes or escapes any element that could be interpreted as executable code, such as scripts, event handlers, or JavaScript URLs, while preserving safe formatting. To exploit XSS vulnerabilities, we need some type of input field to inject code. There is a search section. Let's start there. Exploiting reflected. Yeah, so basically they give us the script with the alert. To exploit reflected XSS, we can use test payloads to check if the app runs the code injected. If you want to test more advanced payloads, there is a cheat sheet online where you can use to craft them. For now, let's pick the following payload. Obviously, Portswigger. Portswigger is a superb resource. And yeah, basically here you have cross-site scripting cheat sheet. You can go download it for PDF and go crazy with it. You have a lot of payloads to try. Inject the code by adding the payload in the secure search message. Yeah, so basically what we did with alert 1, but now we enter it in the search term. It's basically the same. But let's use alert and then say here reflected meow meow. That's pretty much it. Reflected meow meow. Okay. And 1. So what happens? The search input is reflected directly in the result without encoding. The browser interprets your HTML JavaScript as executable code. An alert box appeared demonstrating successful SSS execution. Right? Potential SSS detection again. You can track the behavior and how the system interprets by interprets your actions by checking the system logs tab at the bottom of the page, like we've seen already. Now that we have confirmed the reflected XSS, let's investigate if it's susceptible to store SSS. This vector must be different as it needs to be persisted. Looking at the website, we can see that you are able to send messages which are stored on a server for McSkitty to view later, as opposed to searching, which is stored temporarily on the client side. When we introduce in this box to search, this is reflected when we store it in the message. That is stored basically. And if, for instance, we take this again, place it in the message, send the message, you can see here request comment success 1. All right. If I say again 1 and enter, you will see reflected N1. Right? Reflected N1. Message number 3, reflected N1. Right? Wrapping up. So it's confirmed the site is vulnerable to XSS. It's no wonder that unusual payloads have been detected in the logs, obviously. The team will now harden the system to prevent future malicious code from being injected. Which type of XSS attacks requires payload to be persisted on the backend? Stored. What is the reflected SSS flag? So for reflected, we have to go over here in the search message, and we can use, let's use this one. And here we can see the flag. Evil bunny. TryHackMe evil bunny. And for the stored one, we see this one. Evil stored egg. If you enjoyed today's room, you might want to have a look at the intro to cross-site scripting room. Let's see, is this a different one from the one that we get above? Let's see. Oh yeah, actually it's a different one than what we've checked out. Okay, cool. So we have a lot of XSS rooms to do in the future. Until then, let's finish out our AOC event.